Hi everyone, this is Sarah Weidman with the Stressless Student. This is actually my first time using the YouTube streaming, which was why I had the little at the beginning. Anyway, the title of this video is called If You Just. So I'm curious to know how many of you have been told, if you just were more organized, if you just had a system, if you just wrote in your calendar, right? Then you could live up to your potential. So what I want to tell you is that if you have been told that, there's a couple of things. One, you probably are practicing part of that skill at the end of that phrase. So for example, if someone is telling you, if you were just more organized, there is probably something that you're practicing that is organization. And what's happening is partly is that you've been internalizing the voices that said you're not organized or you're not studying or whatever it is, and therefore you just keep not doing it because you've internalized that voice. But because you probably are internalizing that, or because then what's important is that you stop and you realize what part of that skill are you already practicing. It doesn't mean this is really important. It does not mean that you don't need to work on that skill, or that that skill is not having that skill is preventing you from feeling or being successful at whatever it is that you're doing. But in order for our minds and ourselves to be able to tweak or to repair or to continue on with whatever skill that we need to learn, we need to first stop, recognize what we're already doing, celebrate that, and then we can say, okay, this is what I'm already doing, but this is still stressing me out. So what is it that I need to either practice or build, etc.? So I want to give you an example from my own life. I was always told, Sarah, if you were just more organized, if you just had a system to put everything in place. So therefore, I assumed I was disorganized, and I stayed disorganized, and I didn't think that I had a system. And it wasn't until I moved for like the umpteenth time that I was like, wait a minute, I set my apartment up in the same way every time. So I already do have a system. Yay! Now, that didn't mean that my system needed to be seriously tweaked. But once I realized I had a system, then I could ask myself, so what about the system that I have is lacking that is making me still feel stressed out? So what can I do about the system to relieve this stress? And the second thing about that is I have to be vigilant, meaning that I have to practice that skill of putting things away every day, because it's not something that comes naturally to me. So to sum up, if you've been told, if you just blank, you probably are already practicing a part of that skill. So you need to stop and celebrate whatever it is that you're practicing. Then ask yourself, what is it about this skill that I still need to practice or learn or is stressing me out? And then seek help as needed. And if you want help with that, please feel free to reach out. And what I would love to know from you is, what phrase or word would you put at the end of if you just, and what about that skill are you already practicing, and what about that system can you tweak? I'm Sarah Weidman. I hope you're having a lovely summer, and I hope to hear from some of you. Take care. Bye.